So what's the objective of this conference at this time?
Well, the idea of a conference on World War III, the early years, is to get people to understand that, in fact, war has been being waged against us, for the most part, without our being aware of it. And that war has many fronts. One of them is, of course, is the Chinese Communist Party that takes many, many forms. One could say the virus is part of that. Certainly the lockdown was modeled after China, but various other softer incursions. Two Chinese colonels had written a book in 1999 called Unrestricted Warfare, the idea being, taking off of Sun Tzu, who said, I paraphrase, the best kind of war is the one that you win without a shot being fired. Unrestricted warfare talks about all those various means of waging war without things being, as we say, kinetic. So we were talking about those various means of CCP incursion into the United States. We were talking about globalists. We talked about elite capture, which is a lovely phrase that implies, that means the extent to which our government elites are compromised by various anti-U.S. contingents. So the purpose of the conference was to share all these various ways in which the U.S. has been under threat, under attack, in fact, the victims of a war without actually our being aware of it. So the goal was to learn about it, to understand about it, to be empowered about it, to be informed about it, and to be given ideas about how to wage at least defensive war, if not trying to contend overtly with the Chinese Communist Party.
Russia, globalists?
Yeah, all that. Russia, of course, had been the threat during the Cold War, USSR, the Soviet Union, and we understood that. They were a much more overt enemy. Now they're less overt. They're not as overt, but China is also much more covert. China and the former Soviet Union, and Russia are allied, and this is extremely dangerous. One of the reasons we considered it World War III rather than just another Cold War is that there is currently a hot spot where more kinetic war is being engaged, and that is Ukraine, which brings Russia into that. But I would contend that there are other arenas in which it is kinetic, if you can consider the kinetic is a way of violent warfare. That's in large part the mutilation of our children without parental consent, and various, the virus itself, the lockdown measures, various other means that are violent against us one way or another without actually looking like traditional war.